Hi, anyone and everyone. My name is Kim. I'm the owner and I run the Humble Hermit LLC. Come and do our Oracle Music Mama 80. I have two YouTube channels, thriving TikTok that went semi-viral in May. I have an Instagram account, a Facebook, and a business Facebook. And this is just me telling my story, some of the crazy things that have happened to me throughout my life, and not so crazy things. No, I don't have a filter on. This is just the sun, and this is how I look. I'm 44, by the way. In January of 2023, I was, just a little recap. In January of 2023, I was raped by a man I met through OkCupid. And after that, I started my healing journey. I was still seeing men. I met three other men on OkCupid. One actually stuck for a few months. We ended up being friends with benefits for about 5 months, I would say. 5.5 months. Don't mind me, I'm just going to do some reads here for the YouTube channel. He was a nice guy. He was a really nice guy. When we started talking, we got along really well. I don't know that we had a lot in common. I mean, we had some things in common. I had just come off of my divorce, and he had been divorced, I want to say like a couple years prior. It was his second. He had one adult child. And he was just a really nice guy. We ended up meeting, and I ended up telling him that I wasn't ready for anything serious. And I really wasn't. I really wasn't ready for anything serious. And then him and I started seeing each other, and probably, I want to say like April, I approached him about maybe actually dating, like getting a little more serious, because I realized I actually really liked him a lot. And he's really sweet and nice for the most part. Sometimes a little clueless, but aren't we all? And sorry, I'm just realizing how dusty my table is. I approached him about this, and he kind of flew off the handle at me and got angry. And, oh, you said you only wanted friends with benefits. Now, when I tell you guys that my intuition is like off the flippin' charts, it's off the flippin' charts. So he was seeing someone else. I as soon as I had suspected that he was talking to other people still. I was not. Once him and I started hooking up, I think I still had my profile on OkCupid, Hinge, and Bumble, but I wasn't talking to anybody else. And I didn't pay for services, so like I was never getting like, oh, you have this like and you have that. No, like I wasn't paying for it, so I wasn't getting updates or anything like that. But I'm fairly sure he was still out there, catting around, and that's fine. It is what it is. But when he flew off the handle about me propositioning, something more for this relationship, um, I was like, okay, he's seeing someone else. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. And I told him, I said, whoa, 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 calm down. It's fine. I'm like, you don't want anything more with me? That's fine. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Whatever. We'll just continue the way we are. Because I still wanted to, continue the benefits. But I was just like, that's fine. Well, I didn't talk to him for like 3 days. And it's not, it was, yeah, could I say, like, oh, I was mad, so I was being mean? No, no. And quite frankly, the fact that someone says, oh, I don't want any more with you than what we already have, I don't owe you anything, first off. Just like he did not owe me anything either. Absolutely not. Um, but like I said, I didn't owe him anything. So for like 3 days, I didn't talk to him. And I'm not lying when I say like I was busy with work, doing overtime, um, watching tarot readings, studying tarot because I knew I wanted to do it at some point myself. So I was constantly busy from like March till today. I'm just going to be honest. Well, for 3 days we didn't talk. And after 3 days, he texts me and he's like, so this is how it's going to be. And I said, what are you talking about? And I didn't even get his message right away. Didn't even answer him right away. Probably a couple hours later because I was at work and whatever. I got home. Usually I have a routine when I get home. I get home from work, I feed the cats, I take a shower, I do YouTube stuff. Back then, I was coming home, taking a shower, or coming home, feeding the cats, taking a shower, studying YouTube, studying readers, da 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 da. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, you didn't like my answer. He's like, you want a relationship, and I said no, and then you don't talk to me for 3 days. And I said, look, I said, you don't want a relationship, that's fine. We can continue on as we are. I said, that's fine. That is more than fine. I said, but you also got to realize that friends with benefits is friends with benefits. I don't owe you anything, just like I feel like you apparently don't owe me anything. He was quiet for a while, probably like an hour and a half. I didn't hear from him. And then he messages back, relationships take time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say that that's not true. It is true. Building a relationship, it takes time. Yeah, of course it does. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending on the people, right? Completely agree. And I said to him, I said, yeah, they do. Like, like I don't know what you want me to say. And I said to him, I said it's fine. I said you don't have to worry about it. We'll just continue as it is. And when I feel like it's done, or when you feel like it's done, like, we can say that. I didn't really get much of a response other than, can I come see you, or, something along that lines. So move forward to my birthday, which is June 8th, 2023. I had taken, not a week, but like probably like 2 days off of work. And then I had like a 3-day weekend because at the time, I think I still had Fridays off. So I had like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I took Wednesday, Thursday off. So I had like 5 days off. And what was my birthday? My birthday was Friday or Thursday because it was Saturday this year. It was either Thursday or Friday, however that works. And he messaged me and said, "Oh, I want to hang out with you on your birthday." So, if you guys watch some of the other videos, I talk about how with the ex-husband, I would ask him to take my birthday off and spend time with me, and he never would. And I spent most of my birthdays by myself as an adult. Even when I was living at home with my parents, I just started doing my own thing because it was just easier. And like I'm just going to say this, my birthdays never felt like they were my own when I was a kid. And for about half the time that I lived home as an adult. So I just stopped, like I did my own thing. And he's like, "Oh, I want to spend your birthday with you." And I said, "Well, if you want to come over in the evening for like dinner or something, I'm like, or we can go out for dinner, or, if you want to do something, we can." I said, "But like I have plans during the day," and I did. I had things that I wanted to do and get done, and I just wanted to do my own thing like always. And then in the afternoon, I had my first real tarot reading. I paid for a tarot reading from my favorite tarot reader, the Oracle, Dr. Christina Giroux. I love her. She's a sweetheart. And he said, "Oh, okay, like I'll come over. I think he was supposed to come over at like 5-ish or something like that. I can't remember for sure. 4 or 5, I don't know. Um and I told him, I said, I usually order like Chinese or Thai or something like that. That's like my birthday tradition is some kind of like sushi or Thai or Chinese. Like those are like my three favorite all-time favorite things. And I usually go expensive and I order a lot. Like I order $100 worth of food for one person and I eat it for like 5 days. It's like my favorite thing." And he said, "Okay, fine." So I had my read and he showed up early and I was at the tail end of the read. So I let him in and the read ends. It was a good read. It really was a good read. And he brought me cookies, crumble cookies, if you've ever heard of them. They're like fancy pants cookies. They change them like every week or 2 weeks. They change the flavors, and you can buy them by the eaches, or I think like half dozen or dozen. I don't know. But he bought me a half dozen cookies, which is like, I'm not even kidding, like 30, 35, $40 for 6 cookies. Like it's crazy. That being said, they were amazing cookies. Him and I tried a little bit from each cookie. They were amazing cookies. Um he came over. He brought me the cookies. That was my birthday present. He paid for dinner. We ended up having Thai and sushi. He did not like the sushi. What is it with men that do not like sushi? I don't know. Like, I love sushi and I cannot find a man that loves sushi to save my life. And this man, well, I'm just gonna say he likes to go downtown, if you know what I mean. So how could you not like sushi? I don't get it. Like, shouldn't they correlate? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And he had plain sushi. He had like California roll or something. Like it was nothing. Like I don't understand. Like you can't eat a California roll. It's not that horrible. We messed around. We had sex. It was good. That was the last time that I saw him. The last time I had sex with him. The last time I've had sex. Period. Um, at the beginning of July, well, the end of June, I asked him what he was doing for the 4th of July because I thought, maybe we could spend the week, the day together or something like that, or even like the weekend before or something like that. Because I think I was supposed to be off for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, like 4 or 5 days I was off for the 4th of July because that's how it fell at work. Like I didn't even have to take any extra days off. I had like 4 or 5 days off in a row. So I was like, woohoo. Well, I reached out to him and he said, "Oh, no, no, I think I'm going to go down to my dad's. His dad lives in Southern Illinois." Okay, fine. Fabulous. You should go see your dad. His dad was, from what he told me, kind of like ailing health, kind of not, like kind of back and forth. I mean, I think the guy I was seeing was late 40s. So I want to say his dad was like late 70s, early 80s. So I told him, I'm like, "Yes, you should for sure go see your dad." And even if even if what he told me was like a lie, Like, I felt like he was going to go. Like, when he told me that, I really felt like he was going to go. Um, I wanted him to go. I still feel like, and I don't know because I haven't talked to this man since last July of 2023. But I hope his dad is still okay. I have a feeling that not so much, but you know, to keep hope and faith and prayer, alive, like, you know, I try not to put that thought out into the world. But he told me he was going to go see his dad, like the whole weekend through 4th of July, come home. Um, he was an electrician himself. So he worked for the union, and they basically got, traded out to companies to work for companies on contracts. And he had been at his contract for a couple of years. And the way it worked was like in the summer, they would give them weeks off at a time because they didn't need them there. So he would have, like 1, 2, 3 weeks off, like in the middle of June, July, August, something like that. And then he would go back, and then he would be off, and then he would go back, and then he would be off. So he had time off. He was going to go spend it with his dad. And I was like, okay, great, fabulous. You should go do that. 4th of July comes, and we're talking on that day. And I said, how's your dad? And he goes, oh, he's fine. He's like, I talked to him this morning. And I was like, you didn't go see him? And he goes, no. He's like, I decided not to go. When he told me that, I was supremely disappointed and I was upset. I was upset for him, which is why I have the feeling that his dad probably did not make it. That being said, like I said, I don't want to really put that out there into the universe. Um, I was just a little upset for him that he didn't go because he should have went, in my opinion, to spend time with his dad. And then I was a little upset because, like, so you don't want to spend time with me. We're not building a relationship. Relationships take time. I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, well, enjoy your 4th of July. We talked a little bit back and forth, and then I went and did my own thing for the rest of the day, and that was it. I didn't talk to him for the rest of the day. And again, in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking that he's seeing someone else. And again, like, that's fine. So I'm not going to put more effort into something than I have to, knowing that he's probably got one or two other women on the hook. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I went and did my own thing for the 4th of July. The problem is the day after the 4th of July, I woke up and didn't feel good. On the Tuesday, I woke up and didn't feel good. I went to work. Yeah, because I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. I went to work. I felt like garbage all day. Wednesday morning comes. I wake up and I'm like, I can't go. Now, I don't know if I had, I didn't know if I had COVID at the time. I did take an at-home test. Again, are they accurate at this point? Who the hell knows? It told me I did not have COVID. Okay, fine. I still felt like garbage. I called off. I didn't go into work the Wednesday after 4th of July. Now, I had to be at work probably by like 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So you're talking about me getting up at 3 a.m., getting dressed, feeding the cats, doing what I got to do, and then heading out to work. And I usually like to get there early to like have a snack, have a coffee before I start the morning. So getting up at 3 o'clock, realizing I don't feel good, I'm not going in. I text my boss, say, sorry, I'm not coming in. I need to use a sick day. I should be back tomorrow. I don't even wait for the okay. I put my phone on silent because I mean they're not going to tell us no. Like, if you have sick days, you know how you have sick days, you can use them. You just need to let them know that you're not coming in. And you need to give them, I think you have to let them know within 3 hours after your start. I mean, I let them know before. I was in retail management for 16 years. Like, you know, very responsible adult. I let them know. I put my phone on silent. I went back to bed. I did not get back up until almost noon. My phone was still on silent. I got up. I took a shower, tried to blow all my snot out and decongest and all that because again, a lot of it was in my head and then I just had some body ache. I was just tired. So I put on some jammies. I go into the kitchen. I'm going to make myself like a little brunch kind of thing, some eggs, some toast, something. Get some fluids in me, drink some water, all that jazz. And I finally look at my phone, and there are text messages from this man who told me he didn't want a relationship with me, told me relationships take time, didn't want to spend the 4th of July with me, had sex with me and had dinner with me on my birthday, and then ran the hell out of here. You're not going to answer my text? What's going on? Oh, you're mad at me now? You're not going to talk to me now? I can't even tell you. There were 2 or 3 unanswered calls. There was 10, 15 texts. And I was I literally glanced at it, just a cursory, because I'm out of it. I'm trying to function, make tea, I can't even boil an egg, and I'm supposed to look at this and have coherent thoughts about a relationship that isn't a relationship. I was like, no, I don't think so. So I finished making my breakfast, my brunch, whatever you want to call it. I ate. um I drank some coffee hoping that it would kind of caffeinate me and get me going. So probably an hour after I saw the phone, I went back to the phone and I text him and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, you didn't answer me. He's like, what's going on? He's like, are you mad at me? Da 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 da. And I was like, I'm sick. And the other thing I forgot to tell you guys is I had told, sorry, my nose is itchy. It's because of it's my earring or my ring. Um, on the 4th of July, I had told him I didn't feel good. I felt like I was starting to get funky. Because when he said oh, I didn't go to my dad's, I said, okay. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm busy. Otherwise, I would come spend time with you. And I had said, no, that's, kind of okay. Because I kind of felt like something was coming anyway. I mean, I was disappointed that we didn't hang out, but I was starting to feel sick anyway. That was in the back of my mind. Although, looking back on things, I probably would not have minded getting him sick. It would have given me a little laugh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Um so I told him, I said, I told you the other day that I didn't feel good. And he kind of bulldozed over what I said and just continued on this rant about how I just didn't want to talk to him because I was mad because, we were just friends with benefits. He went off on a tangent. And I said to him, I said, no. I said, I told you I was really sick. I said, I called in this morning. I went back to bed. I literally just got up just before noon. I took a shower. I just ate. I said, I'm texting you back. I said, I don't feel good. I said, I might get in the car and drive myself to the ER. I don't know. And I told him, I said, I took a COVID test. It was negative. I said, but I feel like crap and I have to go back to work tomorrow. So I'm just trying to rest. And then he was like, well, if you need a ride to the hospital, I'll come get you. I'll take you to the doctor. Da 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 da. he had the nerve to tell me. He had the nerve to tell me that we weren't having enough sex, like as a couple or as a friends with benefits. Like, he had the nerve to tell me that a man usually has sex at least 3 times a week with a partner. And, and on average, a man has about 3 times a week. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, with a girlfriend or a wife, not with a friends with benefits. Like, I don't have to cater to you 3 days a week for sex for friends with benefits. I don't have to do that. Just like he doesn't have to do that for me. Why would I do that for him? Does that make any sense? When he said this to me, I kind of blacked out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was just like, yeah, no, no, nope, not happening. So I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, thank you for the concern. I said, I don't need you to come over. I don't need you to take me to the hospital. I said, and I don't need you to call me, text me, or come over at all anymore in the foreseeable future. I said, whatever this friends with benefits, fake relationship, whatever it is, it's over. I said, I hope you find what you're looking for, uh, whatever that may be, whomever that may be. I wish you nothing but the best. Bye bye. He called me probably like 4 or 5 times. He texted me probably like 20, 30 times. I can't even tell you what time I went back to bed. Probably because I slept on and off the rest of the day. So I probably went back to bed at like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., slept for a little bit, got up, fed the cats, went back to bed, got up. You know what I mean? Like, it was a fitful night for me, and I did go back to work on Thursday. But yeah, for like the next 2 days, calls, texts, and then nothing for like 3 days. And then, so the weekend, like, he didn't call me, he didn't text me, he didn't reach out to me. I'm assuming he's with someone else. And then Monday, Tuesday, he starts up again, calling me, texting me. And all the calls before he didn't leave a message. So that next week, on the Monday or Tuesday, whenever he started calling again, he finally left me a message. And he's like, he said something like, he's like, is this really like over? Like, he's like, I know I don't listen so well, but such and such and such and such. And I was like, no, like, I don't play these games. Like, you wanted what you wanted, which was friends with benefits. You got the friends with benefits. The friends with benefits is over. It's done. Like, you have probably a girlfriend or another girl waiting, a woman waiting in the wings. It's fine. Like, move along. And I didn't respond to any of his texts. I didn't respond to any of his calls. Like, when I mean business, I mean business. I stand on that shit. I tell you it's done. For me, it's done. It's over. Yeah, nope. After what happened to me in 2022 with the ex-best friend, everything thereafter, done. Over. Nope. No second chance. Do not pass go. Do not come back around. Absolutely not. Sorry. When I release you, I release you. You are gone. When I release myself, sayonara. I'm leaving. He finally stopped probably after about, I don't know, about 8 days after, 8, 9 days after he stopped texting and calling. And that was still like middle July, middle of July. Him and I were never friends on Facebook, nothing like that. I had looked at his Facebook before, like when we first got together, like February, March. I had looked at his Facebook. Um, I had absolutely no interest whatsoever after we broke up, and it wasn't until I want to say like middle of October that I just had this urge to like check on him, but I didn't really want to reach out to him. So I looked for his Facebook and I found his Facebook, and he had changed his profile picture was him as a young man, because I think he was in the Navy. Army, Navy, so he was in something when he was younger. And his late teens, his early 20s, he was in something. I want to say it was Navy. And then the background picture was him and a woman. And we're talking 3 months later, folks, 3 months later. A picture of him and a woman. And I thought, well, and I literally thought in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe that's just a picture of him and the ex wife. And then I thought, well, maybe it's his sister, because I could have sworn he had a sister. I know he had a brother for sure, but I could have sworn maybe he said he had a sister. Yeah, no. He was in a relationship. It was on Facebook, and her name was on there and everything. And at first, I was a little salty. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, like, I already knew. I already knew that I wasn't the only one, that he was out there looking, that he was probably dating. Um, yeah, so I wasn't surprised. Like, I wasn't in shock or anything. I was just like, and it was kind of funny because she lives in Michigan City, something like that. And maybe like a 3 hour drive from here, 4 hour drive maybe for him to go see her on the weekends. um, yeah, they looked really cute together though. They really did. I did look at his Facebook page again this year, March or April, I think. Because I got the urge to look at his, and I got the urge to look at the ex best friends. And when I looked at his, it was the same thing, still in a relationship with her. And it was funny because this time when I looked at it, I just kind of smiled, and I'm like, well, good for him. Good for him. Like I don't like him and I had a good, like, in my mind, him and I had a good time. It ran its course. It was what it was. He didn't he didn't want anything more with me, which is more than fine. I broke it off. I went my own merry way. He got in a relationship. They look happy together. Kudos. Congratulations. Like, I don't feel any like ill will or anything like that. Like, I hope it works out. I mean, I don't know that I want to throw that in the atmosphere, but I hope, like, it's his third wife and they live happily ever after. I hope he gets his happily ever after, because I think he deserves it. Um, but yeah, 3 times a week. He thinks he deserves sex 3 times a week. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The reason why I thought the picture might have been of him and his ex wife was because when him and I started talking in February, his ex wife and her adult son were living with him. They paid him rent, um, and he let them live with him because he said that, because of COVID and all the soaring prices for rent and all that stuff, like they couldn't afford to live on their own. So he let them stay there. because after their divorce, he said that they lived on their own for about a year, but they couldn't make it. Um, so he let them move in. So I always felt like a little weird that his ex-wife and her adult son were there, but at the same time, like I didn't get any like vibe that he was actually messing around with the ex-wife. I mean, that could have I could have been off, I could have been missing it, but I didn't get that vibe. Yeah. I don't know. I think back on that time, like it was like a crazy time, but because I was doing so much healing and like trying to like get my act together and change my life, and I was learning tarot and I was following readers, and then I was trying like to date him. I mean, we weren't dating, but it was kind of funny too because when I had propositioned him about having more moving on to the next step and building on a relationship and not just being friends with benefits, and he blew up at me and got angry and you know acted like a giant child, and then I didn't talk to him for 3 days after I told him it wasn't a big deal, don't worry about it. When we didn't talk for that 3 days, after that 3 days I went on Facebook and I could not find him. And when he reached out to me after the 3 days and was like, is this, like, are we still seeing each other? Like, what's going on? And I had said, no, like, we're still seeing each other. It's fine. Like, like, you don't want a relationship. It's fine. And that's when he told me, the whole jazz about, relationships take time. I said to him, I said, I looked you up on Facebook and you're not there. Your profile's gone. You blocked me. And he goes, oh, I didn't block you. He blocked me. He blocked me. He blocked me. And I think it's because maybe he was getting ready to make it official with the woman, would be my opinion. Because again, that was in April. But I laughed because, like, 2.5 months later, we were broken up. 4.5 months later, he was in a relationship with someone else. And it just, it kind of, it just, it kills me, that somebody will try and put everything onto you and make it seem like, oh, well, you're the one that said you wanted a relationship, but now you don't want a relationship, and you wanted friends with benefits, but now you're jerking me around. Da, 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 da. No, not jerking you around. Asking you if you want to be in a relationship with me. You said no. It's fine. We'll continue as we are. And when it's run its course, it runs its course. But it amazes me how men get so bitter when there are reactions to their own actions. Like his action was to tell me he didn't want a relationship with me. Okay, well, there's a reaction. And the reaction is eventually the friends with benefits is going to be over. I'm going to move on. Like, you don't think that that's a possibility? Like, I should just continue to be your friends with benefits when you marry your third wife? Like, like that's not me. That's not what I do. And, it's just funny to me to look back on that relationship and just the fucking audacity of someone to use another human being and just think that they're going to keep using you and using you and using you and then spit you out because, they found the love of their life after you asked them to be the love of your life and they said no. It's just kind of funny to me that people behave like that. And what's funny is like me cutting him off that day when I was sick and I told him, it was over, like we weren't in a relationship anyway, we don't owe each other anything. So I'm cutting you loose. I felt bad about doing that. As a human, as a woman, to another person, to a man, to another human, I felt bad about doing that. The funny thing is I don't think he would have thought twice about it. It's sad to me what humans will do to other humans and, not feel a damn thing. Because I thought about that for weeks afterwards. Oh, I might have hurt him. Apparently not. Apparently not that bad. They do look really cute together in that photo. I have not looked at his page since April, and I'm not gonna. Like for me, it's over. It's done. Like I looked twice. I was a peeping tom twice. It's over. It's done. But they looked really cute together. I really hope they make it. I really do. One human to another. This was part 13.